as it turns out, the RX-7's battery wasn't bad. I went down to the local auto parts store, had them test it before I bought a new one, and as it turns out, he said it was at 80% and all the cells checked good. So I take that with a bit of skepticism. Since it's a nice day, my wife told my son he had to be outside, so I got some friends in the garage.
Oh, Mr. Maximus.
Got the driveway cleared out, as well as some of the garage, which lets me kind of work in a little bit more open space. While I'm at it, I'm gonna go ahead and let the orange Jeep run for a while. Since I haven't driven it in a while, give it a little time to idle and run. I've been driving the Vet a little bit more often. I love that sound. Blue, are you gonna keep a good eye on the Jeep while it's running?
Yep.
Yep, you're gonna keep a good eye on it. You too, Maximus? You can keep a good eye on it. He didn't acknowledge me. Still look good, Maximus? Okay. But I tossed it on the tender. Now, I previously had it on my other battery tender. This one has a tendency to blink green always when it's charging, but it seems to do a charge. Just as an extra precautionary, I put it on the one that I usually keep on the Corvette, and it was flashing red, which means charging. So with it at 80%, that made sense. And then after a couple of days, it hit green. Why so slow? Because it's a tender, it's not a charger, but it will charge, it just takes time. So I have the battery on that right now, and it should be at 100 because I got a solid green light. So, boo, now I'm gonna put it in the car. Oops.
It's like all the way down.
Yeah.
Like I hit the floor.
I heard you. Maybe it's not meant for somebody as heavy as you are. Since you're like you look like a giant on it. Ah, yes, the old stick in the keister move. Gotta love that one. What? Not right now. I'm pouring gas into the car.
to see how much, did you see how much smell?
Yes, just a little bit smoky, but that's not to be unexpected from putting the Marvel's Mistral oil into those spark plug cylinder holes, as well as it sitting for the last 2 years. I'm gonna let it blow a lot of that out. I'm gonna kick on some fans while I'm at it. I went ahead and got the dogs evacuated out of the garage. They don't need to be breathing in all of this exhaust. Whew. Anyways, but I kicked on some fans. I'll show you what I got running here. It helps to evacuate things, especially with the orange Jeep, the CJ7. I have a tendency to flood it every now and then. That carburetor needs to be rebuilt, but there's only so many weekends in a year. So what I've got going on here is I have my big fan that runs at like chest level, and then I have my other fan over here that I like to point up at the ceiling. So that what it does is it drives the air that's up here and circulates it down, with the idea of this one blowing it out the door so that I can evacuate everything out of the garage. Actually, I'm gonna turn this one real quick and blow right towards the car in an effort to blow it out the door. That way my neighbors can enjoy that. There we go. Kind of glad I moved the orange Jeep out of here. It definitely gave me a lot more room to work around here with how everything's set up right now. The exhaust just kicked down. So if you're not familiar with this, the way these RX-7s of this year range are, is they have what I'll just generically refer to as a manual but automatic choke. So right here, you have your choke, you pull this out when you go to start it, especially on a cold day. You feather it however you feel necessary. I like to try and keep it just under 2,000 RPMs when I have the choke engaged. It will automatically suck back in once it hits operating temp, and then you're good to go. Did you ever think it was gonna start? That sounds like no.
Never know.
Yep, it's been a long time, so I'm glad it's all fired up though.
Yep.
My neighbor getting his power washing in while the weather's good. But yeah, I'm at, oh, I see him. Blue, do you wanna go for a ride?
Blue does not want to go on RX.
What about you, Maximus? You wanna go for a ride? It's all fired up. Now to go take it for a test drive. First, I gotta pull the lights out from under the lift so I don't crush them. That would be a sad day, especially for how long it took me to find them. The engine is definitely nice and warm. It's at operating temp for certain. See, I moved the lights to the outside. That way I don't crush them. Oh no!
I thought you like hot wired it.
No, not really. Let me scoop my seat up. The steering wheel's not all the way put back in. I need to put some brake fluid in it. It feels like there's none.
Like, the brake's not really working.
Yeah. And I remember looking and seeing low brake fluid. So I'll need to
So you like all the way on the brake.
pretty much. Ah!
Is that what you're gonna do?
Right now, yeah, real quick. This is where the brake fluid goes. And it's real low, look. It's below the minimum line. That's why it's acting like it's got no brake fluid, or like it's got no brakes. Which is weird, because it didn't leak. I didn't see any kind of brake fluid leaking out. Hopefully it doesn't have air in the lines now. But I don't know if it was that low. That should be much better. It's acting like it's not wanting to catch. There we go. Oh. Okay, that's weird. So we're getting ready to go for our first test drive, and one of the first things I noticed was the brakes went all the way to the floor with little resistance and little braking. I checked it, the reservoir was pretty low, and then I recalled, oh yeah, the other day I saw that it was pretty low. So we topped it off. It still feels like it's going to the floor. I got underneath it and I checked it. It didn't look like we had any leaks or anything like that. So I don't know if there's just a massive amount of air in the line or what, but we'll see. All right, we're off. And car. I need to slide my seat forward more, so like with how I like to have the pedals. Feels like full compression. I don't feel any power loss. So that's good, because I was worried that the apex seal would have taken a hit from it sitting for so long, but it seems like we're doing pretty good. So it seems to be running pretty good. Full power, apex seal, seems like it's full. Pretty happy with it. You know, the brakes, those are gonna need to be addressed. So, got to be able to stop. I'm pretty happy with this being our first test drive. Obviously, if the brakes were fully operational, that probably would have been a lot better. But, you know, I'm not going to complain. This has been 2 years in the making of it just sitting and saying that I was going to get it back on the road. And this is definitely a major step. One small step for the Mazda, one big step for Robert Kind. Oh, I can't brake. Should be far enough. I really hope you enjoyed this week's installment of Rob's Garage, where I get the RX-7 back on the road. It's been 2 long years of it not being on the road, and made a major step forward of getting it not only back on the road, but being on the road. If you liked the video, hit the like button, leave a comment, and if you're not subscribed, subscribe so that you can see more about what's going on not only with the RX-7, but the other vehicles that I've got in the garage. Until next time, enjoy it.